Welcome back, 6th grade, to lesson 88. I'm going to do multiple unit multipliers. So far in our math careers, you've been able to change feet to yards with 1 unit multiplier. All right? We're going to use the same principles as unit multipliers, just a name for 1 as a fraction. And in this case, take advantage of more than 1 multiplier to change things that are a little more complicated, but you'll get it, don't worry. Because all we're doing is 5 times 1 times 1 times 1, right? Doesn't matter how many times 1s we do, the answer is still going to be 5. And it's just the idea that these 1s we write as some sort of a unit multiplier, like 12 inches, 1 foot, all right? That's just a name for 1, what we call a unit multiplier, all right? And so far we've been able to change, if we were talking about 5 feet, and we're going to change that to inches, right? It's 5 feet over 1, we make a fraction out of it, times another fraction, and immediately we're going to put the units that we want to get rid of on the bottom here, and the units that we want on the top. 12 inches, 1 foot, and now the feet cancel out, and we're left with inches. And 5 times 12, 60 inches over 1, which is 60 inches in 5 feet. That's using 1 unit multiplier to do that, all right? Now we just get to circumstances where you might have to use more than 1. Big deal. Let's take a look. Let's change 5 hours into seconds, all right? The basic starting point is always the same. You have a given units, all right? These are given. And you take the given and you stick them on top of 1. 5 hours over 1 times something over hours. There's always an automatic way to start these things, all right? Because we want to get rid of hours, which is why we have the starting hours on top, but a unit multiplier involving hours with hours on the bottom, so they're going to cancel out, all right? Now, if we knew how many seconds were in an hour, we could be done. We could write some number of seconds per 1 hour, but well, that might be a little tougher, so let's take an extra step, which is all we're doing here. We do know how many minutes are in an hour, right? Right? And so we can use 1 unit multiplier and say 60 minutes gives us 1 hour. It's the same thing on top and bottom. It's a name for 1. I'm just multiplying 5 hours times 1. I'm not really changing anything. The only thing I'm changing are the units. I'm getting rid of the units. And this would change 5 hours into minutes, but we're asked to change that into seconds. So we need 1 more unit multiplier. In this case, a unit multiplier that's going to get rid of minutes. So immediately I'm going to put minutes on the bottom and the units I want, seconds, on the top. And we know that there are 60 seconds in 1 minute, right? So now we can cancel out the minutes and leave the units we want, seconds. And then it's just a matter of top times the top and bottom times the bottom, and the only units that are left are the seconds that we want. So 5 times 60, that's 300, times 60 is 1 is 300 is 18 with 3 zeros after it. 18,000 seconds, right? Because this is 300 times 60, 3 times 6 is 18, and 3 zeros after it, 18,000 seconds, all right? And this is the idea of using 2 unit multipliers to get where you want to go if you can't do it in 1 step. All right, let's try another one. Now, if you measure your bedroom, you probably do it in feet. And you've got a length and a width, and you're going to multiply length times width, and you wind up with, say, 144 square feet. If your bedroom is square, then you have a 12 by 12 bedroom, right? 12 times 12 is 144, feet times feet is square feet. And so your bedroom is 144 square feet, all right? So you decide, I want some nice carpet to go on my bedroom. All right, so you go to the carpet store, and you go to the salesperson, and say, my bedroom needs 144 square feet of carpet. And the salesperson says, sorry, I can't help you. You go, why not? He says, or she says, we only sell carpet by the square yard. We don't sell carpet by square feet. Oh. So in other words, you have to know how many 144 square feet are in square yards. Now be careful here, all right? Because you might think, okay, if I have a square yard, all right, 1 yard, 1 yard. You want to know how many square feet is that? You go, well, there's 3 feet in a yard, so 3 times 3. That would be 9 square feet in a yard. Wow. Then you would be buying way too much carpet. You could carpet your whole house that way. Think about this. 1 yard by 1 yard, that's a square yard, right? But each yard is 3 feet. Okay. So you would have 9 square feet, all right? What you would have, what the mistake is to think that you would have 3 square feet in a yard, all right? 1 square yard does not equal 3 square feet. It's 3 times 3, it's 9 square feet in 1 square yard. So you need to avoid these things, and when you see square units, that's your cue that you have to use 2 unit multipliers. In other words, all right, we would start this out as 144 feet times feet over 1. 144 square feet, all right? And then that means that we have to get rid of feet twice. 144 feet times feet over 1 times feet, to get rid of one of them, times another unit multiplier to get rid of that. And what we want are yards and yards, and there's 1 yard, 3 feet, 1 yard, 3 feet. This foot gets canceled out here, and the second unit multiplier, avoiding the mistake of saying 3 square feet in a square yard, gets rid of the second feet. And now I have 144 yards times yards. 144 square yards over 3 times 3, 9. So we have to do 144 divided by 9, 16. Is 16 square yards, all right? See, if you thought there were 3 square feet in a square yard, that a square foot and a square yard kind of go together, so there's 3 more of them, then you would have done 144 divided by 3 and gotten about, what, 46 square yards of carpet instead of 16. Yeah, that would have been a big mistake, all right? So when we're talking about square units, you have to use 2 unit multipliers. All right, now let's say you're finished your bedroom and you're gonna do a driveway, and you measure your driveway and it is 25 feet long, and well, let's say it's not a driveway, it's a sidewalk, all right? 25 feet long and 2 feet wide, and make it a heavy duty one, 2 feet deep. Means you need 100 cubic feet of concrete. So you go to the concrete store and you want the ready mix guy to come with the truck and pour you 100 cubic feet of concrete. And the guy says, can't do it. We only sell concrete by the cubic yard. And indeed, that's true. Concrete is sold by the cubic yard. So now we got to change 100 cubic feet into cubic yards. So, quite simply, we say, there are 3 foot units here. Feet times feet times feet. So this is 100 feet times feet times feet feet over 1 cubic feet, right? And so that means I'm going to need to get rid of 1 of those, 2 of those, 3 of those. I'm going to need 3 unit multipliers, all right? And I want yards, so I know the relationship between feet and yards, all right? 1 yard, 3 feet, 1 yard, 3 feet, 1 yard, 3 feet. Okay. So the feet cancels out the feet nicely. We don't want feet, we're left with yards. Top times the top gives me 100 cubic yards. Yards times yards times yards, over 3 times 3 times 3, 27. And the mistake here is, 3 cubic, that would be 3 times 3, 9 cubic feet in 1 cubic yard. No, there's 27 cubic feet in 1 cubic yard. So I got to do 100 divided by 27, all right? So I pull out the calculator and do 100 divided by 27. It gives me some repeating decimal number. And since I am at the store, I can't do a repeating decimal purchase. So that's going to be about 3.7, about. All right, we'll make it a squiggly equal sign. Cubic yards. And please don't go to all this work and then forget to put units on it, all right? The question's asking how many cubic yards. You better have cubic yards in your answer, all right? So about 3.7 cubic yards. A cement truck holds about 6 cubic yards, those big old cement trucks. So basically you're getting a little more than half a cement truck to pour your sidewalk. Okay. All right, here's another instance where you're going to need more than 1 unit multiplier. Let's change 36 kilometers per hour into meters per minute. 2 unit changes going on here. So again, we're going to start by just writing this as a fraction, 36 kilometers per 1 hour. All right? I just kind of rearranged my given fraction here. Except now, instead of just having 1, like we had before, there's actually a unit attached to that, per hour. All right? And I want to get rid of hours and change that to minutes, and I want to get rid of kilometers and change that to meters. 2 unit multipliers are going to need to do that. So if we get rid of kilometers, I'll write a unit multiplier with kilometers in the denominator so that they'll cancel out. And the relationship between meters and kilometers, we know there's 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer. You see what I'm doing? I'm getting rid of kilometers here and getting the meters on top where we want it. Now I got to get rid of hours, but hours are on the bottom, which means to cancel out hours, I got to put them on the top on the other unit multiplier, and on the bottom I want minutes. And there's 1 hour, gives me 60 minutes. And these are my 2 unit multipliers I can use, because now I get rid of kilometers and I get rid of hours. And I'm left with meters per minute. And now it's top times the top, 36 times 1,000, 36,000 kilometers in 60 minutes. Well, that's nice because that happens to go 600 times, right? 60 into 360 goes 6 times with 2 other zeros. So I've got 600 kilometers, no, 600 meters. Boy, that would be, yeah, that would be really fast if it was kilometers per minute, yeah. Meters per minute, 600 meters in 1 minute. That makes more sense than 600 kilometers per minute. That'd be really fast. All right. So, yeah, in this case I had to get rid of 2 units, so I used 2 unit multipliers. All right. Let's try another one like this. We got 12 kilometers per liter, which is nice if you're in Europe, but we want miles per gallon. All right. 12 kilometers per 1 liter, your gas mileage. And we don't really understand that in the United States. We go with miles per gallon. So we need to convert 12 kilometers per liter into miles per gallon. So I got start off with 12 kilometers per 1 liter. All right. And for that, I look up my unit multipliers that change kilometers to miles and gallons to liters. All right. So if I want to get rid of liters and leave gallons, all right? So I would put liters here and gallons there. And then to get rid of kilometers, I got to put kilometers down here and miles up here, all right? And that will get rid of liters, get rid of kilometers, and leave me miles and gallons. All right? So this is the key, is setting it up. And the way you set it up is to use the right unit multiplier. Remember, these are names for one, so you can flip them. Doesn't matter whether it's kilometers per mile or miles per kilometer. It's all a name for one. The way you tell which one you use is what are you canceling out? Kilometers on top, kilometers on bottom. So I got to use this one that says that there are 0.62 miles in 1 kilometer. And here, liters, 3.781 liters in 1 gallon. And then the liters cancel out. So now, I've got this big multiplication problem on top, which is 12 times 3.781 times 0.62 equals 28.1, rounded to the nearest tenth, and everything on the bottom is just gallons, 28.1 miles per gallon. Not bad gas mileage for your Euro vehicle. It makes 12 kilometers per liter. That doesn't sound like much. 28 miles per gallon does sound like a lot more. All right? So the idea of using multiple multipliers to cancel out existing units is the whole point of this. All right? Let's do something practical, all right? Mile Monday. You run the mile in 8 minutes. How many feet per second is that? You run the mile in 8 minutes. How many feet per second are you going? Well, we have a given ratio, right? 1 mile in 8 minutes, all right? And we want to get rid of miles and change that to feet, and we want to get rid of minutes and change that to seconds. So we can get rid of miles by putting miles down here, and we can get rid of minutes by putting minutes up here. You see how that works? It's all in how you set it up, all right? And it's important that when you write the fractions, make sure you include the units so you know where you're at. It becomes quite visible that the miles are going to cancel and the minutes are going to cancel. And miles we want to change to feet,